This is a Renew original recording. Hello and welcome to Season 3 of Believe in People, the British podcast award-winning series exploring addiction, recovery and the stigma that surrounds them. I'm Matthew Butler, your host, or as I like to say, your facilitator. Today's guest is Carole, and her story is one of the most extraordinary we've had on this series. After 45 years of addiction, prison, violence, crime and survival, she joins us to talk about where it all began, how chaos became normal, and why recovery only came when everything finally caught up with her. We explore childhood substance use, family dysfunction, self-worth, domestic abuse, and the long road from thrill-seeking and destruction to finally choosing a different life. This is a conversation about trauma, endurance, and learning to stay alive long enough to change. I begin today's conversation by talking to Carole about her first interaction with substances.
Shockingly, I was 10.
10?
10.
Wow.
And I was skipping school. I'd moved from the East End of London, where we lived, over to Kent. My mum thought I'd be a better human being if we did. And I was soon skipping school, and I met up with these skinheads older than me in Woolworths, nicking the glue and all that. And over the park, and they showed me how to glue sniff. That's shocking, because my granddaughter was 10, you know what I mean? I was smoking cigarettes in school at 7 and 8 in the class, so I was a little bit naughty.
What was the kind of reason that drew you to substances anyway? I mean, at that age, it's really weird because you don't know the consequences of these things anyway, do you know? Well,
the thing is, I didn't know what, I've had such a lot of stick from certain members of my family, well, all of them at some point, about why I chose this and you've effed your life up. But I didn't know I was effing my life up until it was too late because I started so young. So I liked being out of my head. People say, oh, I did it because of this, I did it because of that. I liked being high. I did. Looking back, there was definitely, I didn't have I didn't have a bad childhood, but my dad was a gangster. He used to beat my mum up. Sorry, Dad. And my mum had me really late in life and wasn't as present as she should have been. Like, she wasn't like the sort of mum I was, which was not great in certain aspects. And then I just seemed to be drawn to the bad ones. And I loved being the outrageous one. I was like that little kid out of Boy, This Is England. And I was daring. I soon scaled up rapidly.
Is there something about the connections there? We often talk about like adverse childhood experiences and how that can lead to substance misuse issues. But if you've got, that going on at home, domestic abuse, feeling like your mum isn't fully present, I think naturally there is going to be the need for some form of escapism.
Yeah, and I think maybe thrill seeking. Also, I had no confidence whatsoever. I was like a Bisto kid. I had had a really bad accident running through a glass door when I was in America when I was about 9. So I had 53 stitches down my face, bright red. I looked like a little troublemaker. And my sister was like beautiful and womanly and feminine, and I was just like a boy with a cold sore and scabby knees. And I did outrageous things to seek a bit of admiration, maybe.
I was going to say that's interesting, that, because it is. I think we have. I've spoken about this before, but when you are a teenager, there is nothing more important than the admiration of your peers. You want your peers to look at you in a certain way, whether that's the life of the party, maybe you want them to think that you're the hard one. Do you know what I mean? But there's something about how much you care about how people feel about you at that age. And I think that for some people, for me especially, that just disappeared over time. I remember getting to an age where I thought I genuinely couldn't care what my peers think of me anymore. But there's something about those years that do force you to behave in a certain way. And I think
it's a shame you don't realise it at the time, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't feel like I had anything to offer. So to be that one, the outrageous one, the one always breaking rules, I was fighting, I was bunking off school, I was uncontrollable, committing crime really early on. Once I realised I could shoplift, I struggled throughout my life, even up until recently, to have to pay for things. It's one of the hardest things to give up.
What did you find hard about it then? Was it kind of like, I mean, that's one thing to look at, isn't it?
What did I find hard about
Just stopping shoplifting? Because I think...
Money?
Yeah.
Who wants to pay £30 for a mascara when it fits in your bra?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And when you've done that for so long.
Yeah. It's a sort of a little bit of a natural thing. And then getting in trouble, jail and all that, that's like an occupational hazard. It just went with the territory. I kind of liked it as well.
Where did it go from glue then? Can you remember how that escalated?
Yeah, I met this boy who obviously my mum hated, tattooed up to the eyebrows, pierced and all that. He used to give me these little blue tablets, little blues, like Speed. Then, which I loved. Drink was always a massive part of it. I started drinking in primary school. I didn't drink out the cupboard. My mum was gallivanting up the West End to the Café de Paris in a sequins and didn't really take much notice of what was going on. If more notice had been taken, my life would have been extremely different. My dad, even though he was very strict, was more angry about they were scoring points of each other. I just did what I liked.
You were just collateral damage in that sort of situation. Yeah.
My mum believed everything I said.
Yeah.
So it went from glue to pills, these speed pills, to actual speed. Then I took my first trip when I was about 15. Acid trip, and I never wanted to come down ever again. I was completely without any fear of hurting myself or dying. I didn't really care. Didn't like myself very much. I didn't think... Right, so I spent my whole life thinking I was an idiot thick, because that's what I was called. I grew up being called... referred to with names like, oh, she's off her head. You know, if you tell a kid something enough, they kind of believe it. Well, not even kids. Women in abusive relationships, same. You know, off your head, freak of nature, weirdo, nutcase. So I just acted accordingly.
No,
and it got me... So now I'd say it got me views.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it kind of did. Because I didn't have anything else to offer. I wasn't one of the mean girls. I wasn't one of the in girls. My mum wouldn't buy me Pringle jumpers and cabeche. I had to have them from Irish Market. I wasn't allowed to have all the things that everyone else had. So I had to become part of the gang by being this outrageous person. Don't dare me to do anything, sort of thing. Yeah. Because I will.
Yeah.
Still.
Tell me about, obviously you mentioned your dad being a gangster. What was...
An actual gangster.
And that's, yeah.
Walking down here was crazy. I'm thinking, this is my dad's old stomping ground.
Okay, right.
Because we're from the East End.
Yeah.
He was like the craze guy, you know. I didn't know. He was always suited and booted, drove an E-type Jag, cigar, gold pinky and all that. Looked the part, you know what I mean, now. But we had this big house in Stratford. Me and my mate Lisa used to roller skate down in the basement. It was great. Not until I was an adult I found out that was an illegal drinking club down there overnight. Really? Yeah.
Because the interesting thing, even about the term gangster, I mean, I can tell obviously just based on your accent. When you talk about, you know, your dad being a gangster, I know you mean your dad was a gangster.
Yeah.
Like where I'm from, if someone told me the dad was a gangster, I was like, your dad was just probably a screw off the estate. Do you know what I mean? Like he wasn't a gangster. But just from the accent, I can tell you mean.
He's a proper old school East End gangster. So on a Friday afternoon, him and his associates would be in Scotland Yard drinking age-old whiskey with the head of police, chief of police.
When did you realise then that he?
When I was an adult.
Okay, yeah.
He kept it from me so much so that, so in ways, he was a great dad. He shielded me from as much as he could. I thought he was working abroad. He was originally born in Jersey, and while he was in jail, he would write to his dad in Jersey, who would then repost the letter to me, so that I would have the envelope with the Jersey postmark on it, and all this time it's from Wandsworth. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I never found out any of that. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. I knew he was something a bit. He had a little bit of something, strong silent type. You know, like Parents' Evening was great. It's got my dad. Do you know what I mean? But there was no love coming in. There was no love going on.
It's such an important part, and I think one thing that we've explored within. Just in training, we talk about like there's an old psychology model of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it talks about the basic needs of a child, and like food, shelter, warmth, and love. You know, is the very basics in order for them to actually go on to achieve some form of self-actualization. But they're so important. And if you're not getting that, I mean, he can be protective all he likes, but if you're not receiving that love, then that isn't going to help you develop, is it? And I think if you're not shown love, it's hard to love yourself, show appreciation.
It is really hard to love. It was so, I've only just started to really like myself. But he was brought up in a really hot, that orphanage in Jersey, so he was brutal. He had the birch when he was, which was during the war. The Germans were occupying the orphanage. Horrific. So my mum used to say, he doesn't know how to show love. The first time I realised he loved me was my first jail sentence. And he used to travel from Heathrow to Holloway every day for a 15-minute visit. And that's when and there was letters and there was money and there was trainers, and that was his way of showing me.
Yeah.
He used to stop at Selfridges and bring me a salt beef sandwich. It was lovely.
It's hard, it's hard to show that love if you've never been shown it yourself as well. Do you know? We often see in our parents, don't we, trying to unpick, like, you know, the way that they treat us, and then it's almost like breaking the cycle, because you wonder how was they treated as well in some way.
It was extremely hard. Well, his mum died in an illegal abortion, and the dad just put him and his two brothers. They were like 2, 4 and 6 in the orphanage, and that was that.
Just like, drop off and sort of thing, yeah.
So he was never shown any love. So his way was to do certain things, like if I was in trouble, if I needed someone sorting out.
Could do that bit for you, yeah. What about your mum then? So you mentioned about your dad coming to visit you in prison. That's how he showed
my
love.
mum.
Like, what happened with
So my mum would have been great on here.
Yeah.
What a ledge. She was smoking weed up until she was 91.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just hilarious. Driving a convertible Saab or a Mercs, whatever. She always had these fabulous cars. Yeah. A dolly bird. She was like Gangster's mom. Yeah. It's really weird because it's like talking about a book.
Yeah, well, this is it. As you're describing these, I'm almost like creating them as characters in my head. I've got like these visualizations of them. It is really painting a picture of like that.
It must pass on, because when I was in jail the first time and nobody knew my name and they was all too scared to ask me, apparently, not the first time, a few times later, they nicknamed me Martina Cole. Yeah. Because I looked like I was straight out of one of her books.
Brilliant. Yeah.
But yeah, my mum, she was amazing. She thought she was a coward, but she definitely wasn't. She was a little short, sexy, bleach blonde dolly bird. She even worked in a hostess club that my dad was the doorman. But she was a good time girl. She liked going out. Once she'd got away from my dad, which wasn't easy. Yeah. She was out a lot. And she just believed everything I said, so she just thought I was okay.
You mentioned briefly about the domestic abuse between your mum and dad. What impact did that have?
So I didn't know that was really going on. I think I didn't, but I must have. She used to call me aimlessly all the time. Carole! And I'd run on, she didn't even want me. Apparently wouldn't hit her in front of me. Wow. So it was this endless being called for pointless reasons. But he had a really weird sense of humour. So his favourite thing, he used to hold me over the banisters and drop me and catch me by my ankles. And he thought that's the kind of guy he was. Yeah. He would... My mum said, he done it over the Thames as well. Yeah.
Done it over the Thames?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I know.
That's incredible.
He was really strong. He was he'd take me over the park and he was the guy that did the parallel bars and all that. Yeah. He was really strong, a powerful guy. But yeah, he was scary. And what his idea of fun was definitely not mine. But he brutalised my mum. But not on the same level that I was brutalised by her own admissions. And back then, nobody helped, did they? Like, she'd be screaming out the window and the police would come and he'd say, fuck off, and that would it, kick the door shut and he'd go away. Yeah. Domestic. So when she got away from him, she probably went a bit loopy-loo, getting out all the time because she'd been subjected to
because if you're living on them sort of, or treading on those eggshells as much as you are.
Well, as soon as I was married, he made her dye her hair black, and she stopped wearing these leopard skin dolly bird clothes and pencil skirts, and she was wearing cashmere suits from ankle to neck. She wasn't allowed a mirror downstairs because it's vain, so she hid one on the inside of the kitchen cupboard because he weren't much of a kitchen guy. And then he found it one day and ripped the whole cupboard off the wall, never mind the door. And she was bald at here where he used to drag her by there. She said she was scared, but how could she have been? She used to take us all abroad every year, drive to Spain for the 6 weeks, but she wasn't allowed. But she'd tell him we're going to Newcastle to see her sister. Come on, Mum. We'd all come back brown as berries. We ain't been to Newcastle, mate.
Do you don't get a tan like that in Newcastle, do you?
So I think she was really brave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But I think,
and having me was just... People say, oh, it's put her in an early grave. It never kept her on her toes, mate.
Well, the reason why I ask is I think in some way how we view our parents' relationships with one another, in some way we kind of internalise that as how a relationship should be. So the reason why I ask is about the domestic abuse between your mum and dad is about how that's affected your relationships with men growing up.
I've
yourself.
Had terrible relationships with men. Terrible. And because I've had no self-worth. Going back to what you said about needing to have certain things in order to go forward in life and achieve.
Yeah.
That's one of my strongest things I say, because if I tell you the things I can do, you'd wonder why I'm not running the country. And I could do them. So I can speak fluent Spanish and read and write it, and have done since I was 17, self-taught. I can change the brake pads and the clutch cable. I can put the wardrobes together. I can wallpaper. I can change tyres. I can garden. I can sign anyone's name on a bit of paper. I write poetry. Yeah. I've written a book, a children's grammar book. I thought I was thick. I'm not thick. I'm uneducated. I'm not schooled. I left school when I was 14. Yeah. I thought it was all for tossers. I ain't going there. So, you know, I hated school both days that I went. So
both days, yeah. The 2 days that I went, hated it. But there's some about...
So the relationships I had failed because I didn't. Maybe I tried to make them fail. I think I maybe
self-sabotage.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then I ended up in the midst of the most violent. I'd say Britain's most violent boyfriend, and that's an understatement. So, part of me thought that I deserved it.
I was going to say, that is that something as well as deserving it? Like, when you don't know any different, there's almost and again, this is why I talk about your mum and dad. When you don't know any different, that domestically abusive relationship, in some way, you might view as normal because that's all you've known previously, and that's kind of what you saw as your parents' relationship.
Well, there was definitely no good role models, and you know, it was dysfunctional from the off. So it was normal to have dysfunctionality around it. I don't know if that's the word, around me. Yeah. And the whole, because I wasn't shown like, right, so the most important relationship for a girl will never change is her dad.
Yeah. And
if you're not daddy's princess, you ain't aiming high. You're going out with the local shotter.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel you can do any better. And when I said I felt like I deserved it because I'd been a baddie all my life, because I'd been bad. I'd been to jail a lot. I'd been on dates with blokes. They go to the toilet, I nick their car, take it down the site and sell it. You know, it's really bad.
You're laughing, but it's interesting. Like, how do you view those things? Because what a story to tell. Oh yeah, I went on a date. He went to the toilet, and when he went to the toilet, he came back. I was gone. I mean, if I was the person on that date, I'd be gutted that my date was gone. But to come out and find out she's robbed my car as well.
Brand new motor.
Yeah.
Brand new motor. Straight on the site. Well, just give me anything. Get rid of it. Because I knew on the gypsy site it's going to be gone. It'll vanish. Do you know what I mean? But oh god.
Can I just ask, when you did those things, was this an element of like, because the impression I'm getting is you didn't do it for the money. There was almost like, it goes back to that thrill-seeking behaviour. A story to tell, do you know?
The thing is, my brother disapproves of me so much, but 100% he's dined out on my stories.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, my first jail sentence was, but don't forget I had to fund my habit as well.
Of course, yeah.
So I had to fund my habit, but I enjoyed. So when I was kiting, checkbooking, loved it. I get right into character. I once went into the bank and had to be from South Africa, and I've come for my card and pin.
Brilliant.
So, and I'd get the whole go around. That's really bad, going in people's accounts. I was working with this Nigerian guy, and I'd get all the info. It'd be a friendly job, so there'd be someone who knew in there, and I'd have to know everything. And the thing is, I'll tell you all, if you go in a bank 3 times, I go to a different branch. My house is being renovated. I need the card and the PIN coming to branch. Once you've been there 3 times, when you go and make a withdrawal, the form says, do you know this person, this customer? You've only have to be in there 3 times and they ticket the box.
Okay.
So obviously I knew that. And I'd go in and draw out thousands of pounds of people's in whatever accident. Sometimes in a grey week, I'd paint my tooth with Tipex and stuff, put different colour lenses in. It was the right old game, really. Yeah. And then the result is massive amounts of money to go and get high.
Bringing it back to the addiction then. Actually, first of all, you mentioned your sister being very feminine.
The most normal person
That's
on
what I'm
the
quite
planet.
interested in. Like, what are the differences between you and your sister?
Oh my gosh. She goes to me, Carole, all the time. Still now, I stayed at her house last night.
Yeah.
And she's looking at me today and she went, look at what you're wearing. She's older than me, but she's cool. She's really cool. She's completely opposite. She's very normal. She got married and she's got in the right order, met a guy, got engaged, bought a house, got married, had her first child and all that. Not all up and down.
I suppose why I mention it is because the one thing that truly fascinates me is if we look at your circumstances, which we could tie to your,
different
addiction.
Dads they've got, by the way.
Oh, okay. You and your sister have different dads?
And my brothers, they've got a different dad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If that's where you were going.
Yeah. But I was just thinking, if you've grown up in the same environment with the same parents, why is it that you are the way you are?
Because he hit them, he didn't hit me.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's actually the answer, but there was a lot of discipline for them. He left her, my mum got rid of him when I think I was about 5 or 6.
But it's interesting if they were subject to more discipline than you, that you was the one that, because sometimes it's against like pushing against the
no, but
boundary,
my sister rebelled against him, but only as much as having her nails painted blue, not nicking people's cars. She's just really normal. My siblings are so normal, really normal. I mean, they think I'm outrageous.
Yeah.
I am.
But I think that's going to tie into when you said like you've only started to find love for yourself now, there's going to be this element of surely you're looking at yourself and thinking, why am I like this when you're all quote unquote normal?
Then,
and that creates resentment for self as well.
It does.
In some way, doesn't it?
My daughter, who it's a shame she's not here, you'd love her, she's a carbon copy of me. She's just younger, better looking, taller, browner. Do you know what I mean? Because my kid's a mixed race, which my dad was a stark racist, so that went down a treat.
Yeah.
Went down an absolute treat, that did. Yeah. So she would... I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, it's gone.
Siblings, normality.
It's gone.
It's okay. No, I don't apologise. Quick question, did your daughter have a relationship with your dad then? At all?
No.
But was that because...
I'll tell you what, he didn't say it to them, but what he did, he used to call me licorice minge. Nice. You made your bed. Yeah. I lay in it. What do you expect if you go out with a black man? Of course you can get beaten up and robbed. Hello. So my daughter had no. Yeah. But they always got cards and presents off of him, but there was definitely no. Don't forget he wasn't loving anyway. Yeah,
of course, yeah.
I mean, my youngest, who was a little kid... He was fiery and used to kick him and tell him he's a crap granddad and run off and all that. I think my dad mildly appreciated that because he had a bit of backbone. But to be honest, my daughter's never had any man proper to love her like that, granddad or dad. Her dad was not great with her when she was a kid, except for her little brother. Now, my boy, he's 23 and he's the man now. Yeah. Can look after her, can look after us all.
That's nice, though. Going back to the addiction.
Yeah.
Obviously, glue sniffing, how it escalates. Talk me through a little bit about that. And I guess when did you realise that you was in trouble now with this substance misuse? When did you realise?
The other day is all. Yeah. Sort of thing. I didn't think I had a problem. I thought it was your problem if you don't like what I do.
Okay.
What's your problem? And I was always very honest, very badly, naughtily so. My mum would say, where you been? I say, out taking drugs, out grafting. What can we do about it? I didn't think I had a problem until I learned how to wash up coke into crack. Wow. Yeah. That was moreish, to say the very least. But the problem, right, I tell people there's nothing unusual about a teenager experimenting with drugs. It's actually very normal. It's an experiment. There's a very small percentage of us that are addicts, and that experiment won't be an experiment. It will turn into a lifelong habit, and that's me. So whatever I was to have tried, it would have been... I took everything excessively, too much. I would put trips in my eyes just to come up quicker, stuff like that.
What in your eye?
Trips.
Talk me through
Microdots.
that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
For what reason then?
Because you come up like that, bang, instead of having to wait an hour.
Wow.
I know.
I've never even heard
And
that
it was
before.
outrageous. It was another outrageous thing.
Yeah.
You know, tongue piercings. It shaved me. I thought it would be great. It shaved my hair off, and I just had a little bit like that, like an Hare Krishna. Then went to the family party like it. Purposely to piss them off, I think.
Just as that.
Because I didn't
shock
feel
value,
liked.
yeah.
I wasn't liked. So I thought, if I'm not going to be... And I was so... Right, so my sister's beautiful. Naturally. Perfect nose, full lips, big eyes, just everything a woman wants to be. A good figure, big boobs. I was just... had that fuzzy bit at the back of my head still till I was about 20. So I couldn't be compared to her. So to be completely different would mean there's no comparison.
I was going to say, yeah, was that the reason?
Probably,
Basically,
when I look back.
I guess if you kind of presented as, again, quote unquote, as normally as you could, and still felt unliked, that's going to hurt more than you thinking, well, tell you what, I'll do this to my hair, I'll do this, and then when they don't like me, I can internalise that as the reason why they don't like me is because of this and this, as opposed to not like
I've earned that.
for me. Do you know?
I've earned it.
Yeah.
Rather than me turning up in a twin set and pearls
Yeah.
and a pair of slingbacks and still being cast aside.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
it's like that deflection, isn't it? Like, I'll give
but then
you a
I've responded really outrageously. I turned up at a fancy dress, family fancy dress, knowing, because it's not just my dad that's racist, but it's a lot of... Schwarzer was a word used all the time. So we went as the Ku Klux Klan, me and the kids. And they were like, the kids didn't know what that was, obviously. I did. My brother just looked at me like, something wrong with you. I know. I just did. Maybe I did it for... Like, I think actually what you just said sums it right up, because then I haven't got to wonder
Yeah. That's
why.
what I mean, yeah.
I haven't got to wonder why. I know why. So, and I just did what I wanted to do. For me, drugs... It was an escape, yeah, definitely. It was because I thought being in my head was good. It was so dull. And obviously because of such a young age, I didn't have the time to develop properly. I didn't have a clue. I just, so, you know, I'm that person, 7-drink driver. I'm all right to drive, you know, I don't know if it was give me brownie points or... There was something desperately missing, and then the actual major, the I couldn't control the use of drugs came after the violence, because I was allowed to have. When he said that became my friend.
He said when you could and couldn't use drugs.
Yeah, he didn't use, and because I'm so open, when I met him, I was like, oh yeah, so I smoke crack now and again. I take speed. That's no big deal. I don't need it. Boom.
Yeah.
And then he would come round with a bit as big as that thing there, and go test that for me. And then obviously I've said I don't need it, so I'm salivating really in the kitchen, washing up, thinking, no, just leave it there for a while. Try it. I need to. And then I'd do it, and then get punched right up for it.
Well, so he would. I'm just trying to get this right. He would bring drugs into the house.
He'd bring crack and say, I need to know the quality of this. Will you test it for me?
Okay.
So I would test it. But when I look round, so you've obviously spoken to crackers before. It's a really paranoia, weird thing anyway. I'd turn around and he'd be looking at me around the side of the door. That's enough to make you go all like that. And he'd come over and he'd go, what's that like? Is that good? And I couldn't speak because it was good.
Yeah.
Then he'd just go, bang, knock me clean out unconscious.
Why?
He was I don't know. Well, I suppose he must have been a bit schizophrenic. Why? Oh my God, there was some... This man had me believe his name was a certain name. A year and a half into this relationship, I was loved. He was hurting me, but I was absolutely smitten. He's the first man that ever made me feel nice and sexy and attractive. And I had a tattoo of his name. Then I found out after a lot of something had happened, it's not even his name. It's just the name he used on the street. So I've presently got a tattoo of someone that doesn't even exist. He was, I don't know why, controlling, twisted. he got a real kick out of it. Like he'd turn all the lights off and get the old phone chargers where the wires are attached and the plug was like that. Yeah. And he'd wrap it around his hand and just swing it so it would release each time once more. So he'd be sitting here and then I don't know. I know it's going to hit me at some point, but I don't know when. Just keep doing that and in the pitch black. Yeah. Until eventually it's got smack. I've had to sit with a tea towel over half my face for about 10 days because I looked so scary to my middle boy. So that impacted me. When I finally got away from him, I went in. I mean, when I say I was smoking a lot, I was getting a cab around my mum's house. My mum financed a lot. Right, so let me put a bit, make you understand this bit. Towards the end of me living in London, before I relocated, I was probably getting about £700 a week out of my mum.
Okay.
Can I be brutally honest? I don't even feel guilty. Yeah. My mum wasn't poor. Right, so she wasn't, it's not her pension and all that. She was a wise woman. She had all rooms rented out. She was a landlady. She was doing it out of guilt. I know that for a fact. Because she used to get a drink in her and go, yeah, I think you were overlooked. And I go, yeah, like, what? Hello? Yes, most certainly. Because she'd say, you're really intelligent, aren't you? Like it was a shock.
It's almost like she's just met you sort of thing and just getting to know you, do you know, and they're like, Yeah.
So it's that bad attention's better than no attention, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah. All that stuff.
And what was you doing with that £700? Was that just
crack? Just
literally all crack?
So I'd get a cab. Yeah. To my mum's. It was a £40 cab fare there and back.
Yeah.
Get some cash. Stop. Get everything I'm going to need for this sesh, which was right opposite the site where I used to score. And I'd get the foil, the bottles, the lighters, the lighter gas, fags, booze, plenty of booze, special brew, hello, bottles of brandy. And sometimes she wouldn't have cash and she'd just give me a card. Because she said, I don't want you doing any skullduggery. Because I was always doing skullduggery. Yeah. I mean, she came to court. The first time I went to jail, it was for Royal Mail robbery.
Mail robbery?
Yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was theft. Yeah. We used to nick my mum's car. I was very clever. I parked it in exactly the same place, put the seat back, put enough petrol in, she never had a clue. And we used to drive around at crack of dawn, back when nothing was all... Postmen used to push around their things and we'd be in the posh areas and we'd nick the post bags and go and open them all. But back then there was things in there like loads of cash, cheques. If you did the same round twice in a week, you got the chequebook and the cheque card.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was money and jewellery and all stuff like that.
It's a much more serious offence, isn't it, if you steal from the Royal Mail as opposed to... I only learned that about a year
well, I didn't think nothing of it. And when I found out that it was like Royal Mail robbery, I was like, whoa, this changes things. And then in the dock, I thought my mum was going to have her first heart attack. You heard her gasp because I was standing there, all these sovereigns. I was so disrespectful to the law. You know what I mean? Earrings that looked like budgies that should have been on them, at parrots even. And then... he said, did I have anything to say? And I said, well, it said ER on the envelope. I thought they meant ER, mate, have it. And my mum, you heard her go, like that. And I got an extra year for that. Got an extra year for that. And then I went to Holloway and fell in love. Yeah. Not with a person. Okay. With jail. Yeah. I love it.
Why did you love jail? Obviously,
because I was normal there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I weren't the black sheep.
Yeah.
I was relatively upgraded from most of the people that were in there. Because even when I was smoking 6-7 day sessions, so wide, I'm talking to the dealer with sunglasses on at the window and my face like that because I looked so. But in there, I was like important. I had a little bit of status. You know, I started doing powerlifting. So I come out, instead of calling me Auntie Carole, the kids used to call me Auntie Harold.
Not jacked. Yeah.
I don't know. And then it was an occupational hazard anyway, so...
How many times had you been to prison?
I've done 11 years.
11 years? Consecutively? Or different times, yeah?
No, there has been lots of shit shower and shaves, as my dad would call it. And... Like the drink drive ban and all stuff like that, so yeah, a little while. But I used to think I'd use it as a little detox sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not naive to it. I know you can get drugs in prison.
Yeah.
Was you able to get drugs in prison?
That's the first place I was offered heroin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's easier to get heroin than it is bag sugar, to be honest. Sugar's more like cocaine in there. It's so hard to get.
Why is it so accessible? I don't. I mean, again, I'm naive to it, but
because women and men have cavities.
Oh, okay, yeah. So people
Do you know what I mean?
storing things.
Yeah. You know, so, and then I'm right. So even though I'm a bit of a tearaway, see, I still refer to myself as that. 59 years of age, I still think I'm Jack the Biscuit. But I don't like a bully.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember this girl was getting bullied. She was getting a lot of gear brought into her, brown, and people were just taking it off her. Honey, little bird. She was always clucking, and I'm seeing her on the visits. I'm going, "How are you ill? I've just seen you take that parcel." Oh, when is it really? Right, we were still, I'm not having all that. So I took her under my wing and I wouldn't let her do it. I wouldn't let anyone take it off her. So she was giving me gear. I didn't even know. First time I had it in a line, I had a line of heroin. I didn't know I was goofing out. I kept falling. I said to some girl, I kept falling asleep. She went, "No, you never. You was goofing out." So he was trying to talk to me. But heroin, I mean, I've gone over 11 times, maybe 12 on heroin because my body don't like it. But do you think that stopped me from doing it again? No. My daughter found me once. It was horrific. We were talking about it recently, actually. Because what happens is all the crack's gone and all the gearheads have still got their brown. And I'm like, well, now I've got no drugs. Yeah. So I'll try that. And I don't like the taste, so I'll just put it straight in me. Next thing I know, I've got the paramedics there and all that. Yeah. Luckily for me, heroin isn't... I like uppers. I want to be lively. You know, speed and all that. Staying awake, tablespoons of it. Daughter would go to bed in the purple room, wake up in a pink one and redecorated and all that when you're asleep. So, luckily, I never got a habit. Because then that recovery is a whole different game, isn't it? That's...
Based on because
we could be here for hours, by the way.
Is there a...
Days,
we may be. Is there a drug you haven't taken?
Right, so I have took crystal meth accidentally.
There was this one time when I accidentally took crystal meth.
I did. So I was my version of clean, which means I wasn't smoking crack.
Okay. So as long as you're not smoking crack,
I was taking
clean.
speed.
Yeah. Okay.
But for me, that was, and I wasn't drinking, so I was kind of clean as over in my head.
Okay.
I was going to this club at Vauxhall with this girl I'd recently met, who was, well, she used to wear every colour of the rainbow and it's sparkly and that, so it was a bit funny. So we're going to this club and people were offering me stuff, and I was like, no, I don't want it. Then I've gone out into the garden, smoked a bit, and there's a bloke who was a friend sitting on the table with a glass tube and a bowl. And this smoke I was hypnotised going round. I went, "What's that?" He said, "Oh, it's legal high. Do you want to try it? It's called Tina." I went, "Give it that." So I've like that, and then it makes you talk like. But I had 36 hours, and then the girl Emma come out and she went, "I never knew you smoked crystal meth." I said, "I don't." She just thought you're smoking. Now I don't know if it's what she told me or, mate. I was so bad. I was doing that thing like that boy out of In-Betweeners.
Yeah.
I knocked all the drinks off the bar. Yeah. I had blonde hair sprayed with red hair dye. I was sweating, so I looked like I'd been axed in the head because I had all this red stuff running down my
down your face. Yeah.
I was all like, I got my hands in my pockets and the coat's going up like that. I thought, I need to get out of here. Yeah. The bloke said, "Oh, then I had GHB, is it?" He went, "Only have a little sip." I poured a load in my drink. And then he said, "Don't have any alcohol with it." I'm up the bar doing Zambuca shots at 5 at a time and all that. I'm just such a show off, you know what I mean?
Is there a part of you now that...
And then I got home. That night, it took me hours to get home because I'm at the train station. I think people are running after me. They're running for the train, obviously. I'm on the carriage. People are looking at me. Of course I look like I've got blood running down my face and I can't keep my own still. So I'll get off the carriage and then on again. And this is how it went. I finally get to Plumstead. The cab office won't take me. And there's a big geezer the size of a door outside. He went, "You can get in my cab if you like." I went, "What's the matter with you? Why do you talk so funny?" I was at me no. So he went, "I'm Russian." I went, "Oh yeah, me know I've had crystal meth." He went, "No, I am from Russia." It was so I ended up taking him back to my house and letting him pay me to sit and watch me smoke.
Yeah.
What a strange request. Of course. Please do.
That's insane. I'm just thinking that, like, now, you must be looking back at your life and think, how am I still alive?
Well, I do think that. And I also think, I thought they're supposed to kill your brain cells. I was obviously rocket science material in the beginning.
And just think of what you would have achieved had you not had
That's
used
what I should have been running the country.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, you have to be in to do that, don't you? Yeah. So, I don't know if I'm still alive, but there are consequences. So, I've got quite bad COPD, but I will do because of all the poison off the foil.
Yeah.
I was too greedy to burn it off and clean it, and I just straight to it.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's just age, but... Yeah, how am I still alive?
But you look good. When you said you was 59 as well, even that took me. I was like, because you look great for 59.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I don't think so. My mum used to say, when I said to her, I can't believe I'm going to be 15, she went, well, how do you think I feel? Wait till my age and you look in the mirror and there's a little old lady looking at you and you think, who the fuck's that?
Yeah.
I don't think, if you actually look at my face, I do look really old, but I think it's a mind thing, isn't it? It's your attitude to life.
Yeah.
I'll say it, and I know she's going to watch it. Sorry, Lorraine, my sister. She was old before her time because she just allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You've sort of fought it every...
Well, no, I
step,
just feel like I'm still 21. If there's a problem, I'm that one. Come on in, give me training on. Let's go and have a tear up. Yeah. I'll probably fall over. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. And I'm like a late bloomer. I mean, I really was a late bloomer anyway. I was a late developer as a woman. I was just like a boy, really. It was the one thing my mum was never scared of. She was worried she'd get a phone call from the police, but she knew no one would ever be saying that. I wouldn't be coming home saying, oh, Mum, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, because boys would have to be interested for that to happen.
I suppose in some way, though, I don't know, because it's just, obviously, I think what interests me is just how full of life and character you are still. I guess what I'm looking at is, when did you start to realise that the substance... Because by all accounts, your life sounds really fun. There doesn't seem that there's a lot of... Obviously, barring the domestic abuse, which obviously sounded horrific, it almost... And we can laugh and joke about it in hindsight, but it's almost like the way you tell these stories, it was fun, it was okay, it was enjoyable. So after 45 years... What made you think, right, I need to stop this now? Because by all accounts, you're living life to the full.
Well, I wasn't really, was I? And I was hurting everybody. I was hurting everyone. And then I did take it really bad. So what had happened is, as I was getting older... Oh, yeah. Also, when I moved to the coast, I decided to... Not only had I drunk the equivalent of the Red Sea in alcohol, I decided to become half-ton mum. So I was actually 28 and a half stone. So people think... Fattest crackhead you've ever seen in your life. Hold on, I'm buying an ounce of speed a week and I'm like 28 and a half stone. Absolutely enormous. Sitting up all night, sticking gems on things because I can't move. Too fat. Yeah.
So even that is horrific, but I'm thinking, you made life sound really fun. I was like, actually, no, maybe it's just the way you are telling these stories.
Well, so I'll tell you another story then. So then I picked the kids up from school and we went home and I made shepherd's pie. So do you want to hear them stories? Exactly not. So obviously, it's got to be... I'm a storyteller. I just like that. It's my thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I missed my vocation in life, probably, which wasn't running the country, incidentally.
Yeah.
It was definitely stand-up comedian. Maybe. So, yeah, there was a lot of fun. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of darkness as well. I mean, some of the darkness... I mean, I was diagnosed with manic depression when I was about 17. We call it bipolar now, don't we? Yeah, so basically I get an idea in my head. I have to keep changing my email number because I applied to 57,000 universities because I'm going to do a degree and all that when I'm all up on and up. And then I think, oh, God, leave me alone, So there was a lot of fun because there was no rules. So there is fun. I mean, I laugh about it, but it was really bad. I took my daughter... I worked as a cleaner. Me and my cousin got a cleaning job with this firm And people would be out where we had the keys and that, go around posh houses and all that. Anyway, we stopped work here. I found a set of keys months later. I wonder if they fit. So on the way back from the school run, like you do, I popped along and had a look. And lo and behold, I could get in. So my then 11-year-old daughter, who was told to sit in the car and didn't, came in with me and helped me. I said, carry that penny jar. Well, it was full of pound coins. It's disgusting. It's outrageous. And like when I'm trying to have a go at something, I'll go, oh, you allowed the children too much freedom? She goes, oh, well, I haven't took them on any burglaries lately, so don't worry about it. Or another time, my mate's come round with a car. He's come to deliver the food, left his car running. So she's had the motor. And so I thought, I'll drive that for a few days. Yeah. And then every time I saw a police car, I was like, duck! Yeah. To the children. Yeah. There was a lot of fun. I did funny stuff. I used to, at one point, because I'd have to reinvent myself to make money. So then obviously checkbooks and all that went out the window and the floor limits became low. There was no really doing it. You can only nick so much. I mean, I've got caught a couple of times with shopping list in my pocket, like a div. Ticked off. Yeah, curtains, got them. Crystal decanters, got them. Sort of thing. My sister's house was kitted out. My mum was buying stuff off me when I was 14. Bedding, curtains, towels. So I was angry. It's why I didn't really have. I don't regret those sort of.
Yeah.
Because, come on, your mum buying stolen goods off you. Come on, mate. Or paying in 5 or 6 different checks into her different accounts and going halves. It's not a great lesson for me to take notice of. So I think I thrived off of it. I did. I thrived off of it. I mean, I went through a phase where, because I'm a big spender, I get a lot of credit. I used to get a lot of credit with dealers because I would never spend less than £300. I'm not that sort of person that would go, oh, let's get high for a tenner or 20 because it's not going to do anything. It's just going to give me the hump. And it's going to make me think of wicked things to do to you. Not to you, to get it. So I was on amitriptyline medication and I used to crush it up, put them in the little lottery ticket things, like little wraps of Coke, put them in my bra. So probably now 1 in the morning, I've been smoking all day and now I want some more and I've ticked up to the hilt with the dealer. My mum's asleep, there's no money out of her. So I go into Woolies and go to the club. It's an African club where it was all late night drinking for 5 o'clock. And I used to just basically pull someone, go back to their house and send them out. Stop at the all-night off licence where I get brandy fags and all that. Stop the cash point. Because I'd be masking as a brass. And then I get them to leave the room for whatever reason. It could be ice, a tissue, a glass of whatever. And then I put the amitriptyline into the brandy. Now I know. So first of all, it don't cloud. And secondly, the brandy's too strong, you won't taste it. But I know you're going to be sleeping in about 20 minutes. And you wake up and all your stuff's gone. So I've done it once. We're over a shop in his flat. I've got the music on, I'm under the bed, unplugging jars, I've got 2 phones, I've got the laptop, I've got the watch off his wrist, I've got the cash out of his pocket, I'm away with the fairies, I'm thinking about how much I'm going to get for all this. Go to get out the door, I can't get out. She chubbed me in, so I'm looking for the keys. Can't find them in the kitchen, can't find them anywhere. I'm stuck. Because it was above a shop, I couldn't jump out the window. So I had to go and wake him up. Well, get up, you're locking me in your fucking house. And he went like that, and there's nothing there, is there? So he went, looked across, no laptop. He realised, he went, where's my phone, where's my laptop? And all that, and I was going, just let me out, you have stolen it. So I fake phone call to the police. I'm in this South African man, so I'm really scared. I'm locked in, I think they're going to attack me. All that. And so he went, he let me out. He went, you are a thief. I went, you're a British, you're a foreign national, welcome to Britain. I was really bad. The amount of people I've recognised in Woolies, I say to my daughter, look, I recognise that bloke. So he probably nicked his laptop. Yeah. That was a frequency. Because I had to have money. Yeah. That was actually before my mum was giving me. It was right towards the end when she was just... Mind you, I've paid for it since. I got shafted out the wheel. They all got 89 grand. I got enough. I got 1,500.
How come?
Probably had quite a lot.
Yeah.
This was alive.
Probably a job.
Probably, and the person who dislikes me most was in charge.
Okay.
So
I'm going through all these, all the stories, all the chaos that you was dealing with. Where's the lowest moment or where you think, right, I need to get well now? And the point where you turn your life around?
So what happened is, that's how I digressed, didn't I? So I was this massive girl, so I couldn't do anything, really, apart from score and smoke. And I'd borrowed some money off my daughter for a new sofa. And she was taking her kids on holiday for the first time. So she said, well, yeah, I've got saving money, you can borrow that. And I said, I'll give it to you every month. She went, no, just keep hold of it and give it to me, it'll be spending money. Sweet. I was doing that. I was giving it, at this point I wasn't smoking, I was doing them like mad binges, giving him money, saying, store that. And then I'd forgotten that I'd dipped it twice for the kids' birthdays, which was 50 quid each plus going out. Anyway, long story short, stayed for a holiday. I've drawn me money. I know I only got to add another one to that, and that's already covered, so I've got about 800 quid. I think, oh, lovely jubbly, that's me for the weekend. The boy ring me, and he says, how much money do you think's there? So I said, so. And he went, are you forgetting that you took nearly 300 out of there? And I went, oh my God, I had forgotten. So I'd smoked it the day before she was going on holiday, her spending money. The first time she's going abroad, I'll tell you what, I felt like the scum of the earth, mainly because she didn't even go mad. She said, okay. I wouldn't answer the phone to anyone. Voice notes, okay, Mum, it is what it is. Don't worry. Don't do anything silly. Just sleep it off and we'll talk about it. And don't worry, I'll get paid on Monday anyway. I felt the worst I'd ever felt. I don't know why that did that to me, because there was other times she was out shoplifting for me when she was 14 because I was barred from the shops. There was something about this, 2 little children, plus I was ill. I'd been took to hospital with a heart rate of 148. Well, I didn't know it's only meant to be about 78 on 80, and they couldn't bring it down. I had the defibrillators. I'd just done a 5-day sesh. I was saying, I don't know. I wonder why. I'd had defibrillators and all that, nothing. I was in there for 4.5, 5 weeks. I got bored, looked through my phone, realised I'm getting paid while I'm in there. Ring the dealer, pick me up from the hospital, leave a note on the bed. Oh, I've had to go to an urgent appointment, I'll be back soon. Go off. I'd only just got me flat and I had no curtains up and I wanted to get on with it. I'm on the ground floor, people are looking. So I've gone in the cupboard and found a tin of chrome spray paint, sprayed my windows so nobody could see in. This was normality for me.
Yeah.
Quite normal. Wetting myself because I don't want to leave the table and all the stuff, even though I'm the only one in the house. So no one's going to steal it because I'm in it and I was so greedy. I wouldn't have been happy until I was having it. But the combination of, I knew I was going to die. I knew that I was going to kill myself. I knew that my body couldn't handle it anymore. Plus I'd been through 7.5, 8 years of the most horrific violence. I've had breaks and you know, stuff like that. My body just couldn't handle it anymore. And that thing that happened with Miguel, they're just so understanding, because at some point we did no more lies, because you can't keep lying to someone who knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's only so many times you've lost your purse. Do you know what I mean? So we did no more lies, so that I wasn't allowing insulting your intelligence as well as abusing the system. Do you know what I mean? I didn't smoke and all that in front of them, but I didn't make it. Was no secret. I used to tell my boy not to come round, to chub up the door. I used to sod off for days and days on end, switch off my phone. There was all police looking for me, and clueless. But I was so ill, and then I've been in hospital 2 or 3 times. So now I'm on heart meds. I can hardly breathe anyway. And the forgivingness of it, and the way that children were ringing me from holiday. And if that would be my mum, I'd have been rung her from Egypt. No way, she can go and fuck herself. She was just too kind to me, and I think it killed it. The kindness done me.
You almost feel like I suppose in some way, because of the childhood and the domestic abuse, you're experiencing something that you don't feel like you deserve in a weird way, because it goes back to it, no one's ever shown you that love and the kindness.
Don't get me wrong, my mum showed love. I knew she hit me a lot, but then I was rude. she made sure that I knew she loved me. She used to say, you have to tell children that you love them because they don't just know. People don't just know.
No.
You have to say, So I knew I was loved by her. I just thought but that kind of love and forgiveness was done me up, took me to a dark place. They came round and saw Leah. Oh, that's fine. Walked into my bedroom, called her brother. She went, come and have a look in here. And I had written, I am pointless, up the length of the wall in big letters like that. Because I was pointless. And my plan, I didn't think I could ever stop. I didn't see this life ever being over because I didn't just decide to stop and stop successfully, obviously. Throughout my life, I've had loads of clean time. I worked with addiction services. I was going to be a peer mentor. I was doing so well. Then I had a little screw up and I felt like an imposter. I wouldn't go back. I didn't go back. I just felt bad. I thought, I'm not a hypocrite. So, I didn't use when I was pregnant or breastfeeding. I've had loads, but I didn't. The longevity was never there. I know for a fact there's nothing could make me go back. Nothing. Because since my recovery, not only have I got shafted out of 89 grand, thank you guys, but I found out something horrific had happened to my son, the one who was on Rupel. In his childhood, he spoke about it on the show, that knocked us all sideways. And nothing throughout that made me want to go around the off licence, because that's my problem, drink. Then the drink comes, and there's no such thing as one or two. I can't do that. Like you said, I can't. It's not the one. I wouldn't even buy one bottle of Prosecco. There's no point.
Yeah.
I'll have 3 bottles. Then I'm going to get in the car on live, take you down to the petrol station where I buy more alcohol and put the man on there, say, hello, you're on TikTok. My boy went mental. So you've just basically showed everybody where we live, what your local shop is, and that you're a drink driver. I was like, oh yeah. And the drink will make me start looking for messages. I still get them funny messages sometimes. They don't do that to my stomach anymore, which they used to. But it was hard. I'm good at stuff straight away. It's sticking to stuff.
Yeah.
So it was easy. It's easy. I can do that.
Because just going to obviously the detox process, because there's so many substances there, so much that can cause, like a physical dependency. How does a detox even look for you? Between crack, between alcohol, between, heroin?
Sleep. So I take all my night meds and I just sleep back to back. Wake up, have a wee, drink 10 gallons of liquid, not alcohol. Take 6 more amitriptyline, a couple of tramadol, a few codeines, go back to sleep. So kind of, which is what I used to do in jail. I'd go to prison, no one would see me for the first 10 days to 2 weeks. You just got here now, I've been a kid. Catching up, I've been awake for months. And that's what it basically is, isn't it? You're awake, because the uppers always awake. So sleep, and my kids bought me a puppy, a little chihuahua, and I became obsessed. Yeah. And then every time I fancied a drink, I did a live, TikTok live. And then I started to get all these followers, and it was not just, so I would have not just let down me and the kids. All these people, I would have to stop me TikToking, because that's hypocrite. I don't do that. And that became a bit powerful for me. And I started to think about things my mum had told me. She was so wise. So in between all of that, she really gave me a lot of clever stuff, I've got from her. So Legamo is one of them. I should patent that word, really, which is let it go and move on. And it's true. And you fuck it bucket, which my niece gave me that one. Anything bad, negative, all those things, because they're no good hanging around your neck. That's what I tell people. If you're focusing on all that, you're not going to move forward. If you're still seeing your mate who gets on it on a Friday, you can't start your new life if you're still attached to the old one. Yeah. It was hard, but I didn't do it the proper way and sort of minimalise the alcohol. I just go bang, cold turkey, bang. I'm an either do or don't sort of person.
It's one of the things where by going cold turkey on a substance like that, of course, it can be very dangerous. But there's also this element when you've lived through what you've lived through, you've taken the substances you've taken, you've had the experiences that you've experienced. Surely your man's thinking, well, if I can do all that, then I can go cold turkey on a substance.
Yeah. There's a bit of that had to be used, like I'm Carole Watson, mate. I can do this. Do you know what I mean? I can do this. I lived with Britain's most violent man.
Yeah.
So, and don't forget, I'm of an age where jail for me was no tellies and phones and all that. It's just, and couldn't even have, you'd have two little batteries. You couldn't even have FM on your radio, a little wireless with some batteries on the radiator to try and get more power into them and all that. And I was frequently getting nicked on a Friday. There was no Saturday morning court, so I'd be in till Monday. So I was used to like a 3 day, no fags, no drink, no drugs, and I'd just literally go to sleep. I tell you what, sleep's been my angel, to be honest. My daughter said, I'm going on Big Brother. So she went, that'd be good, because they'll go, it's day 27, and Carole is still asleep.
Slept. You got voted out a week ago, but you're still there in bed. Brilliant.
So it did help me. My followers helped me.
I was about to say, what is it that, as I suppose now, because how long have you been at the point of recording this? How long have you been drug free?
Well, in June the 15th, it'll be 2 years. I can't believe that.
Wow.
Yeah. I cannot believe that. That's flown by.
Yeah. I didn't realise.
I made it look easy, I think.
Yeah.
I made it look easy, but it wasn't.
No, of course not.
But I'll tell you what did help, that I'd relocated. So if I didn't answer my phone, no one's going to know where I live. They can't pop round and entice me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to go round and get some fags and bump into Joe Bloggs.
Yeah.
Who's just said, it says, come on, fancy it. You know what I mean?
Because relocation can be quite controversial in some sense, because some people say you're just taking the problem elsewhere because you are the problem.
It's true.
But it's also eliminating, depending on how you look at it. Like I say, as you've just worded it, you're not going to pop into people where there's triggers.
It's
and
got
that
to be a combination,
knows,
I think, of that, what you're saying. You're taking it with you. Because I did relocate to where I live now, I did it in 2006, but it wasn't quite ready for me back then.
Yeah.
I took a dealer hostage. No, I didn't. Sorry, I robbed a dealer. Took 2 kitties, nitties, junkies hostage for 5 hours. I was all over the newspapers. I looked like Mick McManus on the front page of flipping Argus newspaper. I went to my mum. That geezer just took a picture of me. She went, "Oh, shut up. Who do you think you are, Ronnie Biggs?" Next day, front page. Looking like that. Jet black hair looking like a Mick McManus,
Oh, Daddy, just Mick McManus on the front of a paper. What advice? So obviously, I mean, I didn't know that you had like a TikTok profile or like a social media presence. If someone's listening to this do you know what? Normally, I would ask this question or a variation of this question. If anyone is listening to this and has been through, what you've been through, I don't think there is anybody that has been through what you have been through. It is the most far removed from anything I think I've ever listened to. But if someone did listen to this and resonated with like your substance misuse, or I suppose even your reasons for the substance misuse habit that you had and the addiction,
I was lonely, I know, wasn't it?
What advice would you give them then? If it's loneliness, would you encourage them to connect or?
So don't wait until the time is right. It's not a feeling. Whether we're talking heroin or white powder and stuff, they're 2 different kinds of recovery. It's a decision. And your mind is the strongest organ of your body, and your body will follow. And it is literally one day at, you've only got to get through today. You've only got to get through today. You've got to change a number, block and delete. I didn't change my number because there was the relocation. There was people I didn't want to lose touch with. But the thing is, if you're in the system, they sell your number. Your number just goes around, so it doesn't matter any time you've got that number. Find something else. You've got to throw yourself into something, preferably not the sea, which is what I was going to do. It's so strange. I pray a lot. My mum and dad have definitely helped me through this. So, and I say it again, I feel pathetic saying that TikTok helped me, but it really did.
I don't think it is perfect, because there's how you look at it. Some people might say, TikTok, but there's communities on there. I know quite a few people have found. I mean, if you're not someone who just scrolls through video after video, but if you're someone who actually engages with a community on there, how is that any different to go into a fellowship or a mutual aid group? If you're getting support from other people on there,
it's a support group.
Exactly, and you're getting encouragement from it.
It is definitely a support group.
I don't think it does sound silly.
And the messages I get have me in tears sometimes. you've kept me sober for the whole of December and all stuff like that. You know, show my mum your page, she's been clean 3 months. Things like that.
That's
I get
incredible.
a lot of that.
Yeah.
I get a lot of that. It is a community, and the thing is, I've had more love and encouragement from complete strangers that I've ever had from my family.
I always found that to be the crazy part about recovery. When people say they've had more love and support from strangers in a room than they ever had from their own family.
Because I think the family have had enough, haven't they? Of the antics, and I've just given you just a pinch of them.
Of course, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we've been here an hour. You've summarised 45 years in an hour. And I'm sure we're on it.
So, but they've had enough, haven't they?
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have had. They shouldn't have had. I always say my advice to people is don't throw them away. I felt like I was thrown away because I started going wrong. But the first time I saw a counsellor, my mum took me when I was 5, so I was definitely something wrong right from the off. So I've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, multiple personality disorder, and manic depression. Well, a combo. So,
is the multiple personality how you managed to get them checks through?
It was when I was from South Africa. Yeah, it is incredible what I get from. And actually, I've got a couple of people who seemingly adore me and buy me things and make jewellery for me. And there's a lady in Bahrain who had a Carole Watson themed party on my life, and they all had. Oh, well, I didn't even do it. They've all had, ironically, bright pairs of glasses on.
Yeah.
Because this is part of my look. I've got 58 pairs of reading glasses. I have 58 pairs of reading glasses, and I've got them all on cases on the wall. Yeah. Fabulous it is. It's like bringing Specsavers, only better. Yeah. They all had them on, bright nails, all this trashy, great big chunky jewellery, gaudy old stuff. And they had a Carole thing, Sober Queen. She had all stuff made, party favours, and sent me a load. Bags. I got it in my car, shopping bag. It's got a picture of me, a caricature, big pair of glasses, high on life. Yeah. Well, when I was on a live, and there's all these Arabic words going, I said, "Oh, sorry, I can't understand." She said, "Oh, that's someone from the Carole Watson group." And I went, "Excuse me?" Said, yeah, we've started a group. And I'm looking, I said, where? She said, in Bahrain. I went, what? Yeah.
Oh, my cheeks are hurting on this podcast.
Yeah. And she phoned me on flipping Snap from the party, and everybody was there with these glasses on, and there's all these pictures of me around, the caricatures around the wall and that. She even, and I swear to you, you can check my profile, she hired a dog, or borrowed a dog, a chihuahua. I've got a long-haired chihuahua called Veronica, which is my mum's name.
Okay.
And she had a Veronica at the party. I've also now got a kitten called Bernie, which was my dad's name, so I've got Veronica and Bernie.
I think the best part about this is, like, obviously, the way I like to do this podcast, I like to know very little about the people that I'm speaking to. The only instruction I had from my producer was 45 years of addiction, and now I'm hearing all these stories, Carole Watson themed parties. I'm like, Jesus, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It is. It's mad, isn't it?
You know what?
She sent me gifts and everything. The other day I had cakes sent from another girl.
A cake?
Beautiful cakes. I do loads of videos.
Okay.
I get free stuff, don't I?
Yeah, I'm going to have to check it all out after this, to be fair. I'll get
dance. Oh, yeah, there's some dances. I did that. Do you remember the one that was going around about Big Minge Energy? Do you remember that?
Big Minge Energy?
Do you not remember the old bird? To be honest, she looked a bit like me, blonde, old bird, been through the mill a bit, yeah.
Been through the mill? Is that how you describe yourself? Someone who's been
a bit rough around the edges, yeah. Bit of rough I am, you know. I was married to a posh bloke. I met and married him in 6 weeks. See, there's about a dozen of these we could do. I met and married him in 6 weeks, took a knee on my wedding day that was my present from my mate. I was skinning up on the top table, heckling my father-in-law. Oh, that was great. Then I was walking around in a full-length fur coat with a phone that big, like Del Boy, on a yacht. We had a yacht in Chichester Yacht Base, and I had a Porsche, which I basically brought home in a shopping bag, drunk one night.
All right, Carole, I'm just conscious of time, so I'm going to wrap up. But I like to finish these podcasts with a series of questions that I ask all my guests. My first question is, what's your favourite word?
I don't know. Pink.
Least favourite word?
Can't.
Something that excites you?
Jewellery.
Something that doesn't excite you or drains your energy?
My brother.
What sound or noise do you love?
Laughter.
Sound or noise do you hate?
Kids, racket, whining.
What's your dream job? If any.
See how you had to add that? Because you could see I was a little bit doubtful. I just like doing what I'm doing, really.
Yeah, you're doing it.
I just want to be happy.
There you are, yeah.
That's all I care about.
Least favourite job. Worst job you could imagine doing?
Well, working in Daily Telegraph wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Cleaning toilets. Yeah, cleaning other people's filth.
And then lastly, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Told you I was ill. No.
Told you I was ill. Carole, thank you so much for joining me on Believe in People.
Thanks.
Thank you. And if you've enjoyed this episode of the Believe in People podcast, we'd love for you to share it with others who might find it meaningful. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode, and leaving a review will help us reach more people and continue challenging stigma around addiction and recovery. For additional resources, insights and updates, explore the links in this episode description. And to learn more about our mission and hear more incredible stories, you can visit us directly at believeinpeoplepodcast.com.